Hey, it's Katrina from Paper, Scissors, Glue, and Hybrid 2, and I'm part of Audrey Yeager's Summer Scrappin' series. I think I'm day 16 if I counted right. I'm going to show you how to do a layout with stamps and dies from Waffle Flower. So let's get started. These are some of my supplies. I use the Speech Bubble die, the Go Girl stamp set and matching die set, along with the Go Girl summer die set, the Rainbow stamp set. I use some Ultra Bond adhesive from Therm, plus my Thermal Web Memory Runner XL, lots of deco foil, and I'll list all the supplies below. Those are affiliate links. You don't have to click on them, but if you do, I get a little bit of money to keep my content fresh. Some Zig markers, as we're going to do some coloring. And then I've used Gina K inks, Waffle Flower enamel dots. I love the little size of them. They were perfect for my project, you'll see. I've used Passionate Pink, Wild Lilac, and Dusty Rose in the Gina K inks, along with the Gina K Amalgam ink, Barely There. I wanted to do some no-line coloring, and it was just, I was going to die cut and stuff, so it was better. And then I used the Girl line of Teen Spirit from Echo Park. So let's get started. So a lot of this video is going to be showing you how I created the embellishments for my layout. Here I'm stamping the body part of the Go Girl stamp set with some Gina K Amalgam ink. This is kind of why I wanted this Barely There color. It doesn't really show up very much and it kind of fades, but then I ended up die cutting, so it didn't really matter. So I stamped three body parts for the girls. I stamped 2 out of white cardstock and then 1 out of that tan color because I wanted her to have a tan. So here we're just stamping. I'm getting my 3rd body stamped, and next I will die cut them out with the coordinating die. And I actually, you'll see when I get going, there are 2 coordinating dies to that body part. There's one with a neck, and then there's part of the dies right there. But then there's also one that's the shirt, and I didn't even think about using it, and I kind of cut my pieces down, but you'll see that here in a minute. So I'm going to use some purple tape to hold the dies in place. This is from Thermoweb. Yes, I'm on Thermoweb's design team, but I love the purple tape. It doesn't rip your paper. It holds the dies in place, and you can reuse it. Unlike whenever I try to use washi tape, it doesn't seem to work very well. There are also head pieces that you can die cut. So here I've got everybody die cut it out. Almost put the wrong head on the wrong person. And I used my Ultra Bond liquid adhesive to hold these girls together. And right here I'm going to cut out the shirt. I'm going to make a polka dotted shirt, and what I'm going to do is I trim off that neck because I forgot about the shirt piece. I wasn't planning very well when I made this video. I had lots of trouble making this video, so I'll just warn you now, it was not a good video making day. So I trim it out and I place it on the tan girl, and I used my liquid adhesive because I wanted it to stick pretty good, and I wanted to be able to move it around a little bit if I needed to. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those enamel dots and I'm going to make her a polka dotted shirt. So we're going to speed it up a little bit so it's not so slow. But we're going to take those out, and I just put multicolors on there. I put a couple of the silver sparkly ones on there, and I just love how this looks. It's so fun. It's a cute little polka dotted shirt without having to use markers, and plus use up your enamel dots, because who doesn't have a ton of enamel dots? I know I do. And so next we're just going to start working on the other girls. And one of the girls, I decided I kind of wanted her head a little tilted, and I don't know when I did that. I think I ripped her up and tilted it a little bit. One of them I knew I wanted to make a shirt for, that I wanted to emboss the saying "Go Girl Go" on. It's one of the stamps in the set. So here I cut out the body again in some pink cardstock, and I trimmed it down again. And here you can see I'm embossing with some black embossing powder, and I made a mess of this. I had embossing powder everywhere, but you can remove your excess embossing powder with a little, like, really soft brush. That's just an old paintbrush that I had, and I was just trying to clean it up a little bit. And once I get that cleaned up, I love the Waffle Flower mat because you can emboss on it. That heat tool didn't do anything to it. It just worked really well. The shirt piece has a couple of little notches at the bottom, kind of like for arms, and I didn't want those showing because I was going to make a 2-tone shirt. So I just trimmed those off really close and tried not to get to my letters. I just barely trimmed them off there. And I was having trouble with my liquid glue. I got my pin stuck in it and everything else. It was, like I said, it was an interesting creation of this project. So here I am adjusting, trying to get her cut, trying to get it on there right, and then I'm going to cut her down. And I just trim her up here. And as you can see, I've kind of tilted her head. I kind of wanted her to have an attitude since she was saying, "Go girl, go." I don't think I got that on camera, but I just kind of adjusted it after I did it. So I've got her trimmed down, and then I'll start working on the third girl here in a minute. I'm going to clean up my mess. And yes, I brought out glitter. This is Decofoil foam adhesive. It's a thin foam adhesive that's double-sided sticky. So I take one of the protective coverings off, and there's my glitter. You know you guys want to use glitter. And so I just put her in there because I wanted her to be a disco-themed girl with lots of sparkles. And you can see that Decofoil foam adhesive just holds that glitter. I really, once I had them down, I got all the glitter on there, got all the white spots covered, put the shirt on. It's a little tank top, or it could be a dress. Who knows? We can't see the rest of her body. We don't know what it is. I kind of, pushed the sequins in so that they would be even. Clean it up with purple tape. Works great. Cleans it up. Easy. Just throw the tape away. That's what I do with my leftover purple tape. So here I'm going to start on the hair, and I used Canson Bristol cardstock for this because I was going to use my zig markers. So I picked out my hair pieces. I like the long hair on this one, and you'll see why. It's because of the photo I chose to scrap, which I haven't shown you guys yet. The little top knot for the Go Girl Go, and then this one, they look like teeth, but they're ponytails. So we're going to die cut those out, and I like to die cut them out first and kind of get an idea of what I'm going to do with them and who they're going to go on. And then we're going to color them with zig markers. Usually when I use my zigs, I do use water with them. So I'm going to start on the first one, and I'll list all the colors below. I only used 5. So this first girl, she's going to have pink, purple, and blue hair, and it's just going to all kind of blend together. So I start with the pink and purple first, put a little blue at the tips and on the bangs. And then I grab some water, and I just start using my paintbrush and just smoothing that out and coloring it out and blending it to where I like the colors of how it looks. And I end up adding a little more pink because it was getting a little washed out because I was using water. And then I'll add a little more purple, and I think I add a little, yeah, I do. I add a little more blue at the ends and a little more blue. It gives a little shadow, a little definition, and I kind of liked it. So we'll just set that to the side and let it dry and clean up your mess really easy. And so here I decided I wanted her to have blue hair. So she's going to have blue hair, and same thing. It's super quick and easy. I love coloring with zig markers. It makes me feel like I can actually color. And then the next one, is going to be ponytails. And so I decided, what color can I do? I didn't want to do a normal color because everybody else had colored hair. So I decided to do green. So we're going to town here, and we're just painting her green. I don't think I add too much more green. I thought that green was pretty good. And so there's the girls. And now I'm going on to their glasses. And here I'm going to use Decofoil. What I did was I took some easy cut adhesive, placed it on some cardstock so that it was sturdy. And then I die cut it. Then I'm going to pull out my Decofoil, pull off that layer of protective adhesive over that, put it down on my Decofoil, rub, and pull off, and I've got fun foiled glasses. So I do this for all of them. I do a bright purple for the green girl, I do black for the Go Girl, and then I do, of course, gold for the Disco Girl. And then there's also little die cut pieces for the lenses, and so I did those different colors. I did silver, blue, and then I did pink for the Gold Girl. So we're just finishing up here. We're just about done. And I always save my scraps of Decofoil after I've used them for like a toner sheet or something, because you can do like little stuff like this and it's perfect. And you're not wasting product, which who doesn't want to waste product? I sure don't. Although I do sometimes. Cardstock, yeah. So, and there's even little lips. So I just stamped them. Those are those Gina K inks that I had mentioned at the beginning. And I made the green girl have purple lips. And I'll hold these girls up to the camera here in a minute. I had a lot of trouble with my phone on this. I filmed this a couple of times and my phone died and it got too hot. And yeah, it was all kinds of interesting. Once I got all these girls glued down, I put some heavy, like a couple of acrylic blocks on them and let them set overnight because I didn't finish my layout until the next day. But here they are all finished. Oh, isn't she cute? She's so fun. And then the green girl, I really wanted to put a bow on her pigtails, but I decided not to. And then she looks like a little athlete. So next, I knew I wanted them to be saying things from the stamp set. So I cut out speech bubbles. I actually cut one a little bigger than the other because I wanted some pattern paper backing the one that had the stamp saying on it. And then I also used the heart dies from Waffle Flower because I had an idea for that for my layout. So here I'm going to emboss in white on the black speech bubbles, and I just used my MISTI to hold those in place. If they'd been much smaller, I don't think I could have used that. I think I probably would have had to do a jig with it. But I used Hero Arts embossing powder. I love this white embossing powder. It seems to work really well for me. And then the white one, I just didn't emboss. I just stamped it in black. And the saying actually says live life colorfully, but as you can see, it's not going to fit on the speech bubble all the way across. So I inked up part of it, stamped the live life twice to get a good crisp black ink, black stamped sentiment. And then I washed that off, and then I figured out where to place the colorfully, and then I carefully inked up my stamp and just stamped the word colorfully on there. So it took a little bit because my ink pad was fairly new, so it's kind of juicy, and I was getting too much ink on there, so I was just really careful, and I cleaned it off a couple of times that I edited out. And sorry, I have allergies like really bad this year. So there it is. So you can see here how I did this, that I wanted to give the speech bubbles a little backing. And I used Gina K foam adhesive squares and then the Gina K foam tape. I was just grabbing stuff to pop things up to give things a little dimension. That's one of the stickers from the sticker sheet from the Echo Park collection. I think it says, oh yeah. I wasn't sure. There's a lot of cute sayings in there, but I was trying to find one that would work. So here I start putting my layout together. I think my square in the middle is 10.5 by 10.5. I seem to like that size a lot. I doodled outside with just a black fine tip Sharpie. I like doing this. I don't make it perfect. I just make swirls and circles and all that kind of stuff. And there was the picture. Did you see it? It's because I had colored hair, and that's why I wanted to do these fun little Go Girls, because I could make their hair any color I wanted. So here I'm just layering my pieces. I didn't do a whole lot of dimension on this layout like I normally do. I'm not sure why. I just wasn't in the mood. So here I'm my famous doily. Cut that in half. Adhere that down. And then I am going to pop up my picture with some foam tape. And I use this instead of foam with squares because it was just easier for it was easier to cut strips of it. So I get that laid down. And then I had planned how I was going to have my girls. I had to because of the speech bubbles, because I flipped some of them whenever I die cut them. So there's the heart, and basically that's my title. And this layout is basically a summer layout about what hair color I am this summer. Honestly, you never know what color I'm going to come home with, and this was when I did, this was my August hair color. It will be changing in September. I haven't decided yet. This was when I did, I think it was purple, and I had some blue in it. I did pink, purple, and blue before, and I may go back to that. I can't decide. So here I'm just putting some foam tape on the girls to pop them up, and I use the same for the speech bubbles just so that they can, actually, nope, I use my 3D foam squares to pop them up a little bit higher than the girls. So there, I'm just about done. I saw that cute little camera, and I had to use it. And then the fantastic sticker. So there's my completed layout. I just added a little journaling at the end. And there we go. It's a great way to use your stamps and dies that are just sitting there if you think you just need them for cards. You don't. You can use them for layouts. So I hope you enjoyed this, and be sure to check out Audrey's video. Thanks for stopping by.